Well, good morning. This morning I'm going to go ahead and use my bread machine to make some homemade potato bread. A friend had asked me to do this. She had been having issues making bread. It just wouldn't rise, and she's like, "How do you make that work here?" It is a bit tricky here in California, our different temperatures and stuff. So I'm going to kind of go over what I use and kind of the tools I do to make it work. So kind of the first thing I use, there's two main things I do to my bread, and it works out every time. First thing is I don't use store-bought ready-to-go milk. I always use dry milk, and I prefer non-fat dry milk. Just works the best for cooking. So that's what I use. And then the other thing is I just use uh, the tap cool water, and that's about like half a cup. So nothing special there. And then the third thing is this is the particular product that I use and have had really good luck with. So that's kind of it. So kind of just going over the ingredients real quick. Got my dry milk. Got just a box of mashed potatoes. I like the unbleached white all-purpose flour. You're supposed to use bread flour, but this one is good for baking. So in a sense, it kind of is like a bread flour. Just have a regular thing of salt. This is just a container I use. It's actually canola oil in there. So I prefer canola oil. It just works well. And then some sugar. And that's the ingredient factor right there. The tools I use is right here. I have a sifter, just a 4-cup measuring cup, mixing bowl, my teaspoon, tablespoon, my half cup, and then 1 cup. So and that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and get going on this. I've kind of written down instructions. I always carry a little book here. So kind of the process, I'll go ahead and start right here. I'm going to go ahead and prep the milk. Now I had to take some measurements and downsize the combination for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix half a cup of the non-fat dry milk with 1 cup of water, tap cool. I'm going to mix it well, and I'm going to leave it setting aside. Then the next thing I'm going to do is in a bowl, I'm going to fluff 3 cups of bread flour. You can use compacted flour. I used to do that a lot, but I found out that the bread was very inconsistent and just wasn't very good. So I prefer to fluff it now, or sift it as kitchen terms is. And then we'll add all the ingredients. So I'll go ahead and get going to the point where we'll do ingredients and then catch back up with the video. Okay, so we're going to try something new today. My camera is Wi-Fi capable, so I am able to record it right from my phone. Isn't that nice? So let's set that down. So we're ready to start mixing ingredients. So first step is the bread pan. Slide that out. Now what I do is I very seldom wash this pan because I found that will make it stick to it. So I always just wipe it down when I'm done using it, and then before I go I wipe it down again and maybe shake out some crumbs. So this is ready to go. So what we're going to do, got the bread pan sitting there. First step is going to be to pour the milk into the pan. So that's going to be right here. Here's our milk we made. Let's go, voila. Alright. Now I do want to mention the one tool I forgot to put on the list was my wire whisk. So I needed the wire whisk to mix the milk, obviously. So that's step 1. Okay. And then on this recipe, the next step is to add half a cup of water, which I have here. So there's our half a cup of water. In, done. Okay. The next step is we're going to go, let's see, 2 tablespoons oil. Or a tablespoon. And once again, this is canola oil. 1, 2. Okay. I'm going to wipe that off real quick. Okay, the next step is going to be 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Go ahead and get that. There's my teaspoon. One. And 2. Just rough that one. Okay. Then we're going to add the flour. Here's my 3 cups of sifted flour. So I'm just going to pour that right on in there. Just like that. Done. And now we need a half a cup of potato flakes. So I'll grab my cup here again. I'm going to wipe it out. It's got some water in it. So. Alright, let's do half cup. There we go. Potato flakes. Kind of move that around a little bit as we put it in. Alright. Then we're going to add a tablespoon of sugar. Alright, done did. Okay, and then 2 teaspoons. You know what? I'm going to go a little more sugar. I'll go 3. I like sugar in my bread. Makes it a little sweeter. 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast. Here's my dry yeast. Oh boy. There's sugar. Okay. Found that you want to definitely spread this around. Alright. There we go. With dry yeast, always go like that. Give it a thump. There we go. Which is good. Alright, so next we're going to go ahead and set this back in the bread machine. Make sure it snaps down in there. Close the lid. Now this is where it's tricky. Every bread machine's slightly different. Kind of got mine a little figured out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my settings to, we'll go white bread, which will be roughly 3 hours and 30 minutes. I want the medium darkness, okay, and then complete, we'll go rapid, large loaf. And that's it. So it's set. It's actually going to cook for 245, and it's got heat cycles and everything. Where the target is right around 3 hours. So we'll give that a try, and I will report back after it does what it does. Now I did want to make one note. This bread makes the machine sound awful in a sense. You will hear it making the dough, and it'll sound like it's clogging it up, but it's just a really thick bread. So just give it time to do what it's going to do. These machines are pretty smart, so if it gets to a point where it can't mix it, it's going to throw an error on you, or tell you to add water or something. So just let it do what it does, and we will see bread after a while here. Alright, so this thing's been running for about 3.5 hours now, and we are about done. It says complete. I know it's doing the cool cycle, so we can look inside the little peek window there. Ooh, looks like we got bread. I hate lifting the lid while it's cooling, but I'm going to do it this one time. Look at that loaf. Looks so good. Okay. Give me just a sec, and we'll let it beep at us, and then we'll get it out of there and see what we're going to do with it. Okay, so this thing has finished cooking now. So I'm going to go ahead and open the lid. Look at how good that bread looks. And I'm going to use some mitts here. Go ahead and mitt up. Make some room. Now this is still hot. Look at that. Beautiful bread. Sometimes you can grab the bottom and just kind of jerk it and come out. Other times, give it a good whap. There we go. See how clean that is? That's pretty much ready for next time. Okay. All right. Let's see what we've got here. So we're going to let that cool for probably about 5 minutes. That way it don't fall apart on us. And I want to talk about this. This here is a bread slicer. They cost about $10 on Amazon. Highly recommend that. Allows you to get, even cuts on your bread. Otherwise, it's a bit difficult. I think all bread machines need to come with one of these. So recommend getting one of those. And just the tools of the trade, good bread cutting knife. The longer the better, so you can take longer strokes. This one's just a typical one. And gloves, because it is hot. So we'll give that a couple minutes to cool down, and then we'll go ahead and slice some bread. Alright, the time has come. We're going to go ahead and cut some bread. So typically you can start from this side, but I do like to start from the bottom side. And let's see if we can get that in there. There we go. Now, good rule of thumb is to only cut what you plan on using, because otherwise it will dry out. So, boom. I'm going to cut a couple pieces. I'm going to make me a ham and cheese sandwich. Nice potato bread. Woo, yummy. Kaboom, look at that. Look how nice that is. Homemade bread. Kaboom. Alright, so I got a couple pieces. I am going to put this heel back on there, and that's how I will store it. So I'm just going to let it sit there for a little bit, and then I'll put it in a Ziploc bag, and that's it. So now I'm going to go and make a sandwich. And voila, there we go. We got us a homemade ham and cheese sandwich. Hope this was informative. There are several different recipes for bread. This just happens to be an easy one, and the thing I like about it is it's what I call vegan bread. So there's no eggs involved with it, you know, and basic ingredients. So hope you enjoy it. Share, subscribe, and like. Thank you.